Just one more day until baseball is back for the Boston Red Sox. It's weird. They open up the second half with a Friday afternoon game at 2:20 against the Cubs, and we can't wait to talk about it on Friday, which will be our final show of the week. Welcome to Red Sox Now, presented by FanArch. I'm your host, Mike Antonellis. If this is the first time watching, thank you so much. But you need to do this because yesterday we had 2,700 views on our episode. Incredible. But we have about 870-ish subscribers, so do the math. A lot of you have not subscribed. So please, if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share the channel. Send comments, send messages. We read the comments every day. We love doing that. And here's my shirt today. Bleed Black and Gold, Framingham State University, the school I went to. And it's actually, I worked there in addition to doing Red Sox minor league baseball on radio and TV, which I'll be back with the Woo Sox this weekend. But the Sox will have Lucas Giolito back at it on Friday. And I know people are just chomping at the bit. I think the break is good. I heard that the break's not good for momentum. No, it is good. Everyone needs time off. You need to, and for setting up your pitching. But you need a break from this, and it's a good thing. I don't mind the break. I'm not one of those guys. And I think part of that is from working in baseball for almost 30 years, you don't mind when you don't have games because you're in it every single day. So I don't mind having time to do other things, but it'll be exciting tomorrow. 2:20 at Wrigley Field. How about that? That's what I love about this schedule. I love that you play everyone. Before we get to the sidebars, as you see, the ratings for the All-Star game were through the roof. Ratings for MLB are much better. I love that. I love that an All-Star game did great. I think there's a lot of factors. The pitch clock has made the game more watchable. And a big part of changing the schedule, too, was sharing the wealth. And there's nothing wrong with that. Having Ohtani playing every ballpark, it's going to do wonders for ratings in those markets, right? Because you're going to have some of these, and then when the Dodgers come in, everything's going to spike. I mean, even here in Boston, the TV ratings, the money through concessions, the money at the ballpark at Fenway when the Dodgers come in, it's going to be insane. Now, listen, yes, it's a gauntlet. We know that. I'm not even, thinking about the whole schedule coming up. I kind of like that they're playing these teams. But remember what I talked about back when the Toronto series started. Remember we were freaking out. They lost 2 of 3. But it was that stretch of 13 of 16 at home. So while I don't like to go too crazy with series, even if the Red Sox lose 2 of 3 in Chicago, let's look at it again by a stretch. So we'll take this stretch, and I just took the next 12 because 9 are on the road. So it's amazing. Right before the break, you had 13 of 16 at home where you dominated. Now you have 9 of 12 on the road. At the Cubs, at the Phillies, Dodgers, at the Twins. All of those games will be tough. That's going to lead you right into the break. Now, the Red Sox playing the baseball they did before, and this is why you can't discredit who they beat, because that buys you a little bit of clout, right? Because in reality, they could struggle in this. The Yankees had a tough time with the Cubs. Looking all the good teams, I've looked at this. All the good teams in the league have struggled at times this year. Believe it or not, other teams have problems you have. But the fact right now is you're a game and a half over Tampa Bay. They've lost 4 in a row. You are that second wild card team. Had you not played great during that stretch, and maybe you're 3 or 4 games back right now, how would you feel going into this 12-game stretch, 3 or 4 back? You wouldn't feel great. Now, having a game and a half lead and 3.5 over Texas, those teams in the next 12, they've got to win a lot of games as well. And even if their schedules aren't that hard, you're still in a better position by winning these 10 in a row. Now, my realistic expectations, if the Red Sox get out of this 5-7 or 6-6, I would take that in a heartbeat. A lot of you won't, and I get it. The passionate fans, but I'm being realistic. Winning on the road is hard, regardless of who you're playing. And it's not being negative. It's the reality. When you look at road records, Toronto, road record 23-25. Houston, road record 23-21. Yankees, under 500 on the road. Boston's under 500. Philly, 500 on the road, 14 over at home. That old saying sticks. The Dodgers are 3 games over 500 on the road. The Cubs are 4. Milwaukee, 500. The Mets are 6 under on the road. San Diego, 5 under. These are the numbers I like because these don't lie, right? San Francisco, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Arizona, all under 500. In the National League, there's 2 teams over 500 on the road, the Cubs and the Dodgers. And there's not many in the American League. So I look at that a lot. Minnesota is one of the worst on the road. That's like 90% of the league does not play well on the road. So if you have 9 of 12 away from Fenway, your expectations have to be realistic. And I would take 5 and 7 right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am really thinking I got to find a way to get to one of those Dodgers games. I know it's, I have some connections, but I don't usually like to ask for that kind of game. But, oh, man, Mookie, Ohtani, Freeman. And if you're going, you guys got to let me know. Also, make sure to follow me at the Radio Mike on X. I had a tweet yesterday that's gotten almost 260,000 views. And it's interesting. We had good dialogue yesterday. It was fun. If you were a part of that, thanks for your comments. And we had fun yesterday. All teams have issues, guys. I get it. Crochet's going to a point that he has not. Hey, Carlos Narvaez hasn't caught this many innings. Lucas Giolito has been injured. Will he regress? All the teams have the same things. All the teams can do the same games. I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about I'm able to live in the moment. And what I try to do on the show, too, is give perspective. I am kind of more in the middle with things than a lot of fans. I'm a fan, but I try to be more realistic at times. And just give a view from my experiences working in the game for so long and things that I know behind the scenes. And just try to maybe be the voice of reason at times because I know we get a little off the rails, which is good. But I just try to bring a perspective, a fresh perspective. But here's one thing that I like, and we're going to get Chris Cotillo wrote a great article. Hope you read it. And I had this in my notes anyways. You have to look at everything in the situation you're in right now. If you had, and I want to talk about the extra outfielder that has been created as a problem for the Red Sox. Yes, maybe in the offseason, but I look at the situation right now. You're a playoff team right now. You've played 98 games. You have not many left, right? There's not many games left. So for that situation, what you're trying to accomplish now, if this team was under 500, maybe you do let someone go in a trade. But for where you're at right now, so be it. Rotate that one guy in, give someone a time off. Yoshida has been off for a long time. He might be someone that can't play every day. Same with Bregman. He might need some time off from this, having 7 weeks being hurt and then going right back in it. I'm okay with this. I don't care about, someone's going to be left out. That's not our problem. Don't worry about that. Let Alex Cora figure that out. And why not protect your team? Because the odds are one could get injured, and someone could get injured on a crazy play. And if you get rid of someone, like if you traded a Duran and you lost a player, how would you feel? So let's not worry about solving a problem when it's working. They're rotating guys in. Don't worry about someone's feelings getting hurt or someone not playing. It's fine. And like I said, those guys are allowed to come back in the game. So I'm absolutely okay with doing that. Because but then again, if you're going to do something like that, it has to work for you. You're not going to do this just as, so everyone, can play equally. I don't care about that, nor should you. And of course, they're going to put out their best guys. But I think having a luxury of maybe a late inning situation where Yoshida is coming off the bench, or Duran's coming off the bench, Abreu's coming off the bench, Rafaela. I want that. And I don't care if it leaves someone else out. Right? And none of us will. All right, Chris Cotillo's article is really good, and really breaking down where, it's interesting how people feel about the Joe Ryan and all this, but the one guy that he mentions, and I don't know if I know these guys know things, and I'll just let you in on a little thing. When they write things or say things, Ken Rosenthal doesn't throw out Charlie Morton without knowing something. They don't just go, who would be good? Charlie Morton. They're getting a heads up. I hope all of you know that. They don't just poof a guy out of the blue. They're hearing things, someone's telling them, and they put it out there. But he mentions Yandy Diaz because the Rays like to get out of contracts. We all know how they are. The Red Sox have dealt with them. I would absolutely be on board for that. All right, absolutely. And I know a lot of you love to make these mock trades, which I do appreciate to a point. I do think a lot of them are silly because a lot of you are just going to a prospect book, which teams don't trade from. They don't go in order like off the menu. I don't know what the Rays like. And we have to also look at, there's players in A-ball that we're excluding from this. That could be part of a deal. I'll throw out some trades that the Mets made. I remember when the Mets traded Carlos Beltran, 2011. The Red Sox were rumored in that, and they had Middlebrooks and Alex and all these guys. And then I'm scratching my head because they got an A-ball pitcher. And I'm like, why would the Mets trade for an A-ball pitcher? His name was Zach Wheeler. Everyone's like, what a dumb deal. What are they doing? Well, their scouts knew something. They traded R.A. Dickey for an A-ball pitcher named Noah Syndergaard, who was pretty damn good by the time he was 20. So I do appreciate, I get what people doing. You're trying to, I get it. But I wouldn't live off just going into the prospect book and trying to line up trades based on value. It doesn't work that way. Every organization thinks differently. The Twins and whoever, the Rays, they might not like any of your prospects. And where your prospects are ranked here, they might not rank them the same way. And some of those prospect rankings are not always true. Trust me on this. Sometimes guys are put on there just to be put on there. It's a game. But I would love Yandy Diaz in that lineup. That guy can hit. Let me know what you think. We're getting to the comments, and we'll get to your comment because we're going to have a lot, I know, for Thursday. And all of you will subscribe to the channel. We know that. So let's get to the comments. At Ellsworth 1956, I'm assuming that's the year you were born. So you are 68, right? 69. Hope you're retired and loving life. Red Sox do have the toughest strength of schedule in the second half of the season. They do. You're right, Ellsworth 1956. MLB put it out, number one. At Remdog 3037, what's going on with Vaughn Grissom? Is he not going to get a chance with the Red Sox, or does he have any value for trade? Can you imagine if Vaughn Grissom was in this system a few years ago? People would have went nuts if they traded him. This was a guy who got to the big leagues and hit 291 in 2022, 280 in 2023, limited games. Here's where Vaughn Grissom has been, and this is why a human element, and why you have to look beyond the numbers. Our manager told us that Vaughn Grissom has looked like a completely different player since he's gone back to his natural position of shortstop. And he is raking. He's up to 284, 8 homers, 37 RBIs. He's playing good defense. He has 24 doubles. I don't think he'll ever sniff the Red Sox. And I don't think he has any trade value. No. I really don't. Defensively at short, he's okay. But maybe in a very minor deal. But I will say there is something about, there's a lot of other factors on why guys sometimes struggle or they're great. Now, if he got the keys handed to shortstop somewhere, maybe, but I just don't see it. All right, final one. At AK Cobra, 1120. Boy, what a handle. That is quite the handle. I don't think we're getting Ryan. I think it would take Duran, Campbell, Tolley, Arias to even get. So, by the way, Tolley is a Hall of Famer, according to Twitter. I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but I can't. A week ago, I didn't hear anything about this guy, or 2 weeks when he was in Greenville. I'm not saying you're wrong, but things have gone way the other way. And I like the guy, but it's amazing how people are very defensive on Peyton Tolley. They know their guys. They know these minor league guys, and I've seen him pitch too. He's really good. Number 1 pitching prospect. And Arias, to even get them to think about it. Barring a trade, I think it hinges on Buehler and Houck. All right, Fitz is what he is, and he can be okay, but Buehler and Houck have the skill and past history to do what Giolito and Bayo were doing. So are you okay with that going forward? If you're okay with that going forward and they don't win, then you have to be okay with it. So if the Red Sox don't do anything to dramatically change their team pitching-wise, which they have to, then you have to be okay if the results are no playoffs. You can't have it both ways, guys and gals. You can't. Like, people are very defensive about trading anybody now to get Joe Ryan, which I do get to a point. But if you feel like this is a team that has a chance to get to the World Series, you have to get uncomfortable. It is what it is. All the great teams that have won have done it. I've gone over the examples over and over. So, and I've had people argue with me about the deadline trades, the offseason trades. You would have never traded 4 players to get Luis Garcia in any offseason. There is no way, and the reliever market in the trade deadline is insane. Again, I talked about it yesterday. Tanner Scott, 5 prospects for a rental. That's what's going to happen with relievers. The Dobbins injury is huge because now you have to keep guys stretched out. Houck or whoever, Harrison, maybe those guys could have been relievers. But now with the Dobbins injury, so maybe a bullpen guy. But I'm just saying, if you don't want your Breslow to make tough decisions and you live with Fitz and Buehler and it blows up, and you end up not even making the playoffs, then you have to live with that. So I'm not saying you're wrong, because it could work out. But I am not comfortable with those two. But Chris Cotillo mentions, getting a lower type of arm, which I'm okay with. Like a Seth Lugo. I think the Seth Lugo is that's a good arm. That I would love to see. A Gallen, Merrill, Morton, and Haney. I would like 2 of those guys. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting, and we'll see how this stretch goes. All right. Your comments, your subscriptions to the channel. I know you'll subscribe. We're going to have another big day on Thursday, and we can't wait to talk Red Sox baseball for you on Friday. Have a great day, everybody.